Tsunami Studios. It's a robot versus robot match as we take two popular characters from popular culture and compete them in a fight to the death. This is the first Robot Rumble of Fights of Fiction. Hello everyone and welcome back to Fights of Fiction. This is the show where we take two characters from popular culture. I create a narrative in which these two characters fight for our amusement, and we're just going to have a good time with it because it's a chill, relaxing experience we live with our lives. And who doesn't love fighting? No, who doesn't? Like, it's fun. It's fighting. Everyone's going to have a good time. I am your host. My name is Taryn Barker. I will be taking you on this journey of exploration between two characters. And for this episode, we are doing our first Robot Rumble. Robot Rumble is definitely one I know we're going to be coming back to because, come on, there's a lot of robots in popular culture and everybody likes to talk about robots. So I figured we'd take two robots from a cartoon that was a beloved series and we're going to have them fight for our amusement. You know, it's going to be really fun and we're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be fun if I haven't specified that enough. Fun. It's going to be really fun. Fun. I'm stalling because I see my cat's about to make some noise, so I'm just hoping he doesn't do it in the middle of a conversation where I talk about the characters we're going to have competing. So for this episode, our first combatant, you know her as the robot maid from a hit television cartoon from back in the day. It is Rosie the robot. Now, I'm a fan of the Jetsons. I'm a big supporter of that era of cartoons, that Hanna-Barbera, that kind of stuff. I love that, and I love like the dystopian, futuristic, era that the Jetsons is set in, where everything's kind of like polished for like that 1960s version of the future that never really came into light. I love the way that looks. I've always had a fascination with Rosie. I've more know her from more modern interpretations, like that Jetsons comic book that DC published. I know her from that more than the actual cartoon because when's the cartoon? It's Judy. Come on, I'm a young guy. It's Judy and Jane. Like, that's where I go. It's they look great. Love the hair. So I just kind of knew Rosie as like the maid. So I never really like cared that much about who she was or what she did. But I figured she'd be a good character for like this kind of fight, especially in the direction I kind of wanted this fight to go with this other character. So our second combatant, you know him, you might love him. And actually, if you know him, you love him because that's the kind of character he is. Bending Rodriguez from Futurama. Yeah, Futurama is the future we are probably going to get over the Jetsons. I know that's weird to say, but I chose both these robots who are from a cartoon that takes place in the future. And Bender is kind of like the opposite of Rosie, right? He's kind of like the opposite of who she is. She's very helpful. Bender's very much of a dick. So I figured they're two polar opposites. Let's put them in this fight. I'm looking at the character cards I make for every character because you can go to Patreon and see all the character cards. So you get a list of every fighter that's ever fought. And I realized I spelt some words wrong on the Bender character card. So am I going to fix it? Absolutely not. We live and learn from our mistakes. So it is Rosie the robot versus Bender in our first Robot Rumble. So I think this one's going to be really fun. It's the Futurama world versus the Jetsons world with probably the two most popular robots from each world. So I'm now trying to think, where do we want this fight to take place? Where do we want this one to start? Now I have an idea, and I want you guys to go with me on this. Okay, let's just say for the sake of this argument that the Jetsons are alive in the Futurama world. And we know that Bender lives with Fry in a robot apartment. Fry stays in the closet, right? So let's just say those two, Bender and Fry, they have a party one night. Things get a little messy, and they're like, man, we got to clean up here. But Bender's like, you want me to do what, work? I ain't doing work. Shut up, Fry. And Fry's like, well, I don't know how to clean an apartment. I can't take care of myself. So they hire a robot service maid. And they're like, well, let's get one for very cheap. So they get like this rundown version of Rosie. And she's obviously the Rosie that we know from the Jetsons. So she comes to clean the apartment. At this point, Fry's going on a date with Leela. So it's just Bender and Rosie in the apartment. So here's what I'm thinking happens next. So we get the knock on the door. Bender opens it. It's Rosie. He's like, "Damn, they don't make them like you anymore." And she's like, "Shut up. I don't want to put up with you. You're paying me. Let me clean your house." So she's just like, it's that classic, like old school sitcom where the guy's on the couch with the drink, the lady's vacuuming behind him or doing something crazy. So she's just like dusting along like the wall or just cleaning it up, and Bender's just like, "Ugh, could you be quieter? I'm trying to watch the game or something." And she's like, "Well, maybe if you'd help, we'd get done sooner." And they're just bickering like that classic, couple from a sitcom. And obviously it's just funny to watch because you just see Bender's just classic Bender. His feet are up on the coffee table. He's not doing anything. Rosie's just judging every mistake he makes, and you could just tell she's like, "I don't like this guy. I don't want to be in this situation. Why am I here cleaning this guy's house?" Like, it's not even that dirty. Like, why am I here? So I think this is how the fight should start, right? I think Bender is just like, he's having a drink of beer. He finishes his glass. He puts it down. He's like, "Hey, baby, why don't you go get me another glass?" And she's like, "I don't work for you. Like, I don't do that for you. I'm just here to clean up, and I'm going to get my paycheck, and I'm done, okay? Like, I'm not your like full-time maid. I'm not grabbing you a beer. Get off your ass and get it yourself." But it's like, "Hey, I'm paying you to do this. You could at least grab me a beer." And she's like, "You can't make me." And he's like, "Yeah, I can make you." So Bender does like another classic thing in cartoons. He gets up and he's trying to like push her into the kitchen, but she's not even moving, right? She's just like, she's got like her arms crossed, like, "This is a waste of my time." Just stomping her foot if she had one. And then it's like, she's too strong. So then he just walks away angry, and he's like, "Stupid," just grumbling to himself. She continues going on her dusting, and he's in the kitchen. He's grabbing another beer, and he just sees like an open like can that Fry had. It could just be like a juice or a beer or something. And he's like, "Hey, Rosie," and he just pours it onto the floor right next to her. He's like, "Why don't you clean that up, baby?" And she just gets livid with him. Like, we're talking classic, like, you push the housewife to her edge right now. She is going to go have a martini and complain to her friends about you at the nail salon. That's the kind of livid we're talking about. But because she's a robot, she just computes it all as like, "Oh, this guy wants business." So she gets like, what's something that cleans up juice stains? That's a good question. I don't clean a lot. Is it with just a towel get that out? I don't know what kind of floor. Let's say it's like a metallic. Yeah, it's like a metallic kind of shiny metal floor. I guess you could just get a towel to clean that up. So Rosie she pulls out a towel. Does she have storage on her? I think, yeah, you could say she's got like arms and limbs that could have storage come out of them. So let's just say she just gets a towel. She starts cleaning it up. And then Bender takes some of his beer. He takes a sip of his beer. And then he just pours it on top of her. And she's just like, "This guy." So she takes the towel, and she just, as she starts to get up, she just does like that classic like flick thing, like the whoosh with the towel, and just flicks it, knocks the beer out of Bender's hand, and it just like spills everywhere. And now Bender's pissed too, because he's like, "That's my last beer, you crazy broad, what are you doing?" And now they're just fuming at each other. If they had ears, smoke would be coming out them. The classic like train noises, like, right? They are pissed, and they're just watching each other, waiting for the next one to make a move. And you can see they're kind of in like the kitchen. So Bender is he's just kind of glancing around, seeing if he can find like a knife or something he's going to pick up. But it's actually Rosie who makes the first move. She's like, "You try one more thing, I'm going to hit you with this." And she just pulls out like a huge like vacuum cord. And it's just like the cord of the vacuum. So like she could strangle him with it, even though it would make no sense because they're robots. But she's got like a cord that she could like whip around and hit him. And it's like, "Yeah, shut up." And so he just he's like looking around. Then he reaches into like the compartment on his chest in classic Bender fashion. And he just pulls out another beer. But instead of drinking it, he just bashes it on the side of his head. And he's got like a little like shard he's going to stab at her. So they're just kind of like going around in a circle, just following each other. Just each kind of like jabbing forward. Rosie's like twirling it up like she's going to strangle him with the vacuum cord. And they're just kind of walking back. It's like, just waiting for each other to make the move. And then what neither of them realized is when Bender broke the glass over his head, it hit an electrical wire that was connected to a toaster because Fry likes to make some toast, right? And now the place is just kind of sparking up, and then kind of just slowly a flame starts to emerge from behind the toaster, but neither of them see it. So they're just kind of going back and forth, and then Bender's like, I'm sick of this, and he just charges at her. It's like, and he knocks her to the ground. She can't get up right away because she's got like that, she's kind of got some junk in the trunk, if you guys know what I mean. So it doesn't look like she'd be very stable if she topped over to the side or onto the ground. So there she is. She's on the ground. Bender's trying to stab her, but luckily she's using like the vacuum cord to dodge each blow. The knife's coming down. She puts the cord through it, and she kind of like throws him off with the cord. It's like stuck in the knife. She twists it around, throws him off, struggles to get back up, but she does. And now the flames behind them are getting higher and higher, and she notices, but Bender still doesn't notice because he's too busy fixated on not having another beer. So now Bender is just, okay, we got to get through this situation. I'm going to kill you. And he charges at her again, but she gets out like a broom. I don't know. Can she like take things out of her body? I know there's some artist interpretation. I'm going to look it up right now, actually. Rosie the Robot Maid Services. Let's see what we got here. Well, it doesn't look like her limbs can change into anything, but for the sake of argument, let's just say she's got all like this cleaning supplies on her, so I feel like I'm smart. So she grabs like a broom from that she just brought with her, and she just kind of like trips him as he's running, and he falls face down into a pile of the beer. And now he's pissed. She leaves the room because she's like, there's a fire. I'm not being responsible if things go awry here. I'm just going to walk away. This is a shoddy job anyways. Like, I can't clean this up. I'm just going to leave. So, excuse me. So she tries to she walks out of the kitchen. She goes into like the main room. She's just about to like grab the rest of her things. And then Bender just comes storming out. Now behind him, the entire room is on fire. And he's like, you started a fire. And he's just yelling. He's like, come on, you got to finish the job. Put it out. I ain't dealing with this. She's like, you know what? I don't want your money. I'm just going to leave, okay? So she's trying to make for the door, but Bender does a thing where he like stretches his arms out. He grabs her, pulls her back. And he's like, you're cleaning up this apartment. You're cleaning up that fire, and you ain't getting any of the damn money. And now she's like, you know what? Just stop. So she takes out a feather duster, starts whacking him over the head with it, and he's just like, stop it. And it is just, it's comical. It's just funny and comical, and it's just so stupid to watch. And you're just wondering, what is happening right now? You just look down. So we're gonna cut away. We're gonna go down to the apartment floor. Fry and Leela are just walking about, and they're just looking like, well, it's weird that restaurant was closed. And then Fry's like, yeah, it's even weirder that they still gave us food, or just something like that. And then they just kind of look up. They're just like looking at the apartment because they're like, is that smoke coming out from your apartment, Fry? And he's like, maybe it is. And then big explosion comes from the apartment. The whole complex is just like kind of slowly bursting into flames. And all you just hear is like a and then they just look up, and coming down from the apartment, it's Bender and Rosie. They're just falling to their knees, and Bender's just kind of like he's just swatting her in the air, and she's just kind of like hitting him back with the duster, and it's kind of falling down the ground. And Leela and Fry are just watching like, what? Oh, Bender, you're gonna kill the maid. So Bender and Rosie, they come crashing to the ground right next to Fry and Leela. And now you're just wondering, what the hell is going on here? Oh, boy. So they're watching. Rosie and Bender are now outside. Bender has got his like arms around her trying to strangle Rosie, but you realize you can't kill Rosie. She's a robot. How is strangling going to do anything? So she kind of like, she tries to push away. Instead, she grabs like just one of the things that fell from her. She's got like a belt that has all her stuff on it. She just grabs like the duster that fell to her side. She's kind of like jams it into the side of Bender's head like it's a knife. She just sticks it in. He kind of goes just freaking out because something's in the side of his head. So now he doesn't know what to do or what's going on. And it's just a really fun time. So now Bender's freaking out. Rosie's trying to get away. She's like, that guy's trying to kill me. I just wanted to do my job. He lit his apartment on fire. He keeps trying to like force me to get him beers and stuff. And it's like, I ain't doing it. I'm not a part of it. I'm done. Fry, I don't need the money. I'm out of here. And Fry's like, okay, bye. So she tries to leave, but the Bender pulls the duster out of the side of his head. And he's like, oh, you ain't going anywhere. I ain't done with you yet. Hey everybody, I just wanted to jump in really quick and tell you about my YouTube channel, Tsunami Studios. There you can find short reviews on new comic books, on new TV shows, and on new movies, and even sometimes some old stuff. Plus there's exclusive content on there you can find, and it's just a really fun thing. Also, you can check me out on Patreon at Taryn Barker, and you can get some exclusive series that are only available to there. Plus you can hear this podcast early. So thank you guys for supporting me, and let's get back to the fight. So I think it's that time in the show where we decide who's going to win and who's going to lose. Now I think it's pretty obvious who the hero is and who's the villain. Bender's the dick. Bender is always the dick, but he's kind of like the lovable dick, and I think he's going to get his comeuppance for just kind of like being a dick to the sass bot that is Rosie. So, if those of you who are wondering, this is going to be shorter than the first episode because I don't want to do like 40 minutes of this. I'm just going to we're going to go for that easy breezy between 20 to 30 minute mark now, okay? Now that that's out of the way, it's a tighter story. Let's continue. So Bender's like, I ain't done with you yet. Let's go. We're going to go fight. Come on. He's going to go at it. And Roy's just like, I'm not dealing with this. I don't like this guy. He's an idiot. Clearly he's an idiot. So let's just, fine, whatever. Let's just finish shit. I'm done. So she tosses him a broom, and she picks up a mop that she has with her. And yeah, she's just carrying these things, right? So she has a mop. He has a broom. And now it's like, all right, if we're going to do this, we're going to do this right. You and me, we're going to charge at each other, and the first one who gets stabbed loses. We're jousting, motherfucker. We are going to joust with a broom and a mop. And there's like, oh yeah, I'm 90% mop or something. Just like, I'm 60% mop. You want to come at me with a mop? Let's go, pretty lady. So they're like on opposite sides of a street. They're like maybe a mile apart from each other now, right? They're just waiting. And then Leela and Fry are off to the side, and Leela's like, oh, good lord. And Fry's like, go Bender, kick her ass. And Leela slaps the side of his head, and it's just like, oh, yeah, okay, yeah. So now you just see Rosie's just like getting to like that ready position. She's got the mop all ready. She's about to charge at him. She's going to go in for the kill. And Bender's just like, this will be easy. I got longer arms than her. What's she going to do to me? So now they're ready. It's on your mark. Get set. Charge. And they're both coming at each other. Bender's getting into position. He's running fast. And then Rosie's just coming down. She's trotting down. They're coming at each other. And then Bender does a trick move, right? Where he switches out the side of the broom, and inside is the shard of glass he used from the bottle. And they're coming into each other, and right across the side of her. He just cuts her side completely open. You see all the wiring inside. It's sparking up. She is going down. Right? She is going down. And you just see Bender cheated. Because of course he cheated. It's Bender. Now everyone around them, everyone's watching. They're like, boo, Bender, boo, you cheated. It was supposed to be a fair fight. And she's kind of like holding her side. She's like, you son of a bitch. That's it. She takes her mop. She kind of like twists her one arm really fast, and the other arm she's holding the mop. She just twists her arm really fast, and it's kind of working like a saw cutter, and it's just like all the way around. And now the end of her mop is turned into like a spear, and she just throws it as Bender's like, I did it, baby, I did it, and just impales him right in the chest. Right in the chest. There is ouches everywhere. It kind of like sticks into the concrete, and it's through him too, and he's just kind of like, hey, they're like, what am I gonna do? What's happening here? And Rosie, she's holding her side, she's struggling to get by to him, and she just takes the duster, jams it into the other side of his skull. Jams it to the other side of his head, right? And she just pushes it in there. And now you're just watching, like, what is this horror show that is in front of us? This is graphic. And Bender's slowly reaching up. He's trying to, like, grab the inside of her circuits and pull them out, but it ain't working. And she just like, you should know your manners. And she just kind of like slaps a receipt onto him and said, that's my bill. I want my payment. And Bender's just like, shut up. She pulls out the duster, stabs into his foot, and it's like, where's my payment? And you just see Bender's like, okay, whatever. Here's your damn payment. Fry, pay her. So Fry gives her money, and now it's just like, she just slowly rolls off into the distance like nothing ever happened. And that is the end of our first fight of the Robot Rumble. Rosie walks away victorious as Bender waits on the ground. Post-credit scene. Cut to Bender and Fry are in their apartment. Everything's on fire. Bender's just looking around like, what are we going to do? Fry doesn't really care, but Bender's like, I'm going to kill this robot. She's dead meat. And then he just sees a little piece of paper. It's like a business card. And it's just kind of burnt. But he's just reading it. And he picks it up and he looks at it. He's like, who the hell are the Jetsons? Fade to black. And that is the end of the Royal Robot Rumble. I had a lot of fun with this episode. I really do like Rosie and Bender. I think that's a really interesting pairing when you just have like that situational comedy dynamic where Bender's the lazy dad and Rosie's the work-a-hard mom. I thought it really went into some fun places. Let me know what you guys think. Was this a fun episode? Did you have fun listening to it? And what could I do to improve it? I'd love to hear your suggestions. You can follow me on Twitter at Tsunami Podcast. There you get a exclusive first look at the combatants coming to this channel, as well as news on various other shows we're working on here, like the Springfield Files, like the Weekly Pull. And you could have fun there, and you could see what's going on there. You could check me out on Instagram if you're interested in seeing what I'm doing personally, at Terran Almighty 56, and you can just see all my fun stuff there. So it's really fun. And of course, if you have any suggestions for Fights of Fiction, you can send them to me at ironhawk56@gmail.com. A link will be in the description of this video and this podcast if you guys want to check that out. ironhawk56@gmail.com. Put in the subject line, Fights of Fiction suggestions, and I will get to them and we'll talk about them. It's going to be really fun. And, I have a lot of fun talking about this stuff, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. So let me know what you want to see and how it's going. So I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good one. Stay safe out there. Good luck to all of you.